I'd reiterate the need to be very systematic about this, to find a way to share the knowledge and not end up with a lot of duplicative training programs in community colleges and K-12 that haven't been informed by the science. Finding ways, as in the New Era bill, to have some champions and organized structure, and then to have a structure for training at all the levels that's very quickly infused with the new knowledge that's going to come up. And I also want to agree that while the community colleges, particularly because of their location and their workforce development emphasis, are really a good place to center the leadership or the forward momentum of this, none of this will happen without partnerships with the research universities and the land-grant universities, because that's where the new knowledge is going to come and continually infuse. And none of it is going to happen without a partnership with the K-12 sector, because that's where we're going to motivate young people to prepare and be interested in these careers when they have so many other choices now in the United States.
From a public policy standpoint, the government has asked private industry and agriculture develop the biofuels industry. We've responded with that. The industry has invested literally billions of dollars to support that commitment. And as we look to touch the broad sectors of agriculture all over the country as it moves into cellulosic ethanol, biomass, energy savings, agronomic work, education and curriculum, and the ability to have a fluid program that's free of government bureaucracy when community colleges need to have flexibility as those curriculums change, and as land-grant universities and research universities need to downstream that technology improvements and information is going to be critical. And so the machine is working, the train is leaving the track, and then is clearly responding to the national call. And if you can overlay that with education benefits, you're going to see long-term generational benefit to the country and energy independence.
Just to reiterate a couple points that have already been made, I think this whole bioenergy field is going to be an evolution. In other words, we're not here today, and that's the way it's going to be down the road. It's going to evolve. And part of that's going to be cellulosics building on even with corn, because corn can contribute significantly with the cellulosic portion of the fiber in the kernel and some of the corn stalks and cobs, so forth. So I think the educational part of this is going to be an evolution in all these things that are going to change, because we're going to be an evolving industry. Secondly, and it wasn't mentioned today because we're focusing on energy, but biorenewables. I was at a grand opening of a Tate & Lyle plant in Loudon, Tennessee. That plant is producing high fructose corn syrup, it's producing ethanol, and it's producing polymers. Polymers, those are starch-based from corn there, but are also going to have great potential in the future too, and it's something our educational institutions are going to have to pay attention to.
Mr. Chairman, 4 things. Number 1, there's no shortage of people that are available to work in this industry. The shortage is of qualified people. Number 2, training clearly needs to go beyond textbook learning. It needs to be applied learning. Number 3, I completely agree with Dr. Keir that there certainly needs to be more collaboration and a systematic approach to the education training that takes place. Finally, the biofuels industry doesn't know state borders. Therefore, the education and training that takes place needs to be national in focus, irregardless of zip code.
Thank you. Ranking Member Shabbat, do you have any final remarks you'd like to share with the committee?
No, just once again, thank the panel. I'll certainly review the testimony that they've given today, and I want to thank you again for holding the hearing. Yield back.
I think the final comment I would like to share with everyone here is one of hope. When I go home to Waterloo, Iowa on the weekends, I look right across the street and I can see the house that Jessica Lange lived in when she came to my community to film the movie Country, which was an attempt to capture the despair of the farm crisis of the 1980s. And as I drive around the countryside in my district and I see the Hawkeye Renewables ethanol plant in Fairbank, and I see new energy and focus throughout my district, throughout my state, and as someone who grew up in a small town of 1,500 working on farms, working in grain elevators, it's very, very exciting to see people taking control of their destiny we in Congress need to help them by helping provide the next generation of education, training, and experience to make sure that we can be moving in a new energy focus and that we can transfer what we learn throughout the world to reduce our dependence on petroleum-based fuels. So thank all of our witnesses for coming, and with that, the committee hearing is adjourned.